Welcome, welcome, welcome to round 4 of the Race Spec Endurance Pacific League on a Saturday night. We are here this week in Canada, and I have Josh Sandman once again joining me in the commentary box. How are you doing, Josh?
Not too bad. How are you, Blackman?
All right, bit of a stressful afternoon with power outages and such, but luckily I have got going just in time. Now, high-speed circuit here in Canada. Hopefully we're going to see lots of overtaking down that main DRS straight, or even down into the hairpin at turn 10. So, let's join the boys on the track. And what I might just do before we get going is have a look at the driver standings, because we haven't had a chance to look at that since last time. So I might just rattle off the driver standings for you guys at home there. Currently we have iContrast sitting in P1 with 73 points, and Plevs just behind him on 61 points, and Scotty there, who's our race winner, two-time race winner, at 60 points in the third position. Then we've got a bit of a considerable gap down to James Cruz at 26 points, who is tied with GeForce Zach. It's pretty close down there in the 4th, 5th and 6th sort of positions down there, and I'll just jump on board with a car here going out. And we've got Chronic Saints down there in 7th, Ferrari Pro in 8th, Kickbutt Kiwi in 9th, and Wogboy there rounds off the top 10. Snickers Bud in 11th, Honest Crook in 12th, The Rock in 13th, Albino Josh 14th, Chihi Medmond in 15th, Jamie Day Jubbledoo 16th, 17th we have My Name is Jeff, Ulrin Firesky in 18th, and Club Clifford in 19th, Kavudi in 20th, and then we have Combat Wombat 21st, Anthro 22nd, El Tonki 23rd, 24th Noah. So we've got quite a few drivers because there's quite a lot of reserves going on here. And it looks like we've got a few medium people going for their strategy there. So I might let you take us round, Josh, with Combat Wombat.
Alright, here we go. Coming into turn 1, trail braking and trying to keep this nice and tight line through. That's a touch wide. Lose a little bit on that exit. This next one coming up, you've just got to throw the car in down the hill. Make sure you don't... Oh, that's a little bit understeery there. But he's managed to keep going. This one coming forwards, braking just after the 100 meter, trail braking, trying to use that curb to get some extra rotation before it comes back onto this back DRS straight. Then we've got one of the tough chicanes, braking just under the tunnel, throwing it in. A little bit of low gears there, so we'll probably be losing a little bit of time there as we approach the start of the 3rd sector, braking at the 100 meter board round the hairpin, a little wide again. And here we go, probably short shifting to make sure there's no wheel spin, get the traction down as we approach the Wall of Champions. Probably one of the toughest corners on the track, a little bit easier than it used to be last year. Braking just after the 100, throw the car in. Ooh, that one might have been an invalidation there.
He's good.
Looks like it went okay. There you go. So, Combat Wombat, that is a 1:11.3.
Yes. And we might want to mention just quickly, people might not understand why Oz Formula is is out already, is because he has received a quali ban for his previous misdemeanors earlier on.
That's right, all those little things add up, little touches under the safety car or anything like that. I think this one was a particularly unfortunate one. He had to take a bathroom break and his AI ran into somebody. But that's the nature of the game. There you go, endurance racing. He's also got to, make it the whole time.
Yeah, we've got a couple of fans out there for the Ferrari boys and Noah in there, so just have a look how the Ferraris are going around here as he comes to start his flying lap there. And we have iContrast also there setting a top time, first person into the 109s. I wonder if those people on the mediums will elect to just try and hang in there. He's done a pretty good lap there as Combat Wombat, sandwiched in between a few of the soft runners. We've got a couple of new guys as well. Let's hit up on those. We've got Dan the Racer joining us, Tinsel Man also, Twitch, Liddy, Alex Pato,
Crazy Kiwi as well.
Was he not there last time?
maybe he was. I thought he was new, but
yeah. So we've got. Don't have a whole bunch of full-time drivers. I think there's only 12, maybe around 12 of them, so we'll see a lot of reserves in there. There's nothing wrong with that, and it's good that we've got a full grid once again, although everyone's stepping up there, and all those reserves are completely yellow flags in Sector 2. I think it's just McLaren there letting a few cars by. And yeah, let's see how Ferrari Pro finishes on his lap days, coming now onto the back straight with his DRS open. And you know, there's a bit of trade-off, isn't there, on this track? Do you really try and slim down that rear wing and go for top speed? And whoa, he gets a bit sideways there at the last corner. And let's see how he finishes off his. Oh, I think he invalidated that with that sideways moment there. That's unfortunate for him. He's going to have to go.
That one too.
Yeah, that'll do. That's that. That really sucks there on that last corner. It's going to invalidate the lap you're on and the next lap as well, which is like a double hit of pain. Scotty also setting a lap now. Previous race winner Scotty. Let's give it a nice mention to honourable mention there to Chronic Saints. A couple of fans in the chat there. How is he doing out there? Looks like he's on a flyer as well. He hasn't set a lap yet, so we'll just stick on board with Chronic Saints. Mr. Kimberly Stevenson in the chat there. Much love out for Chronic Saints, so let's ride on board with him and see how he goes. There's a Ferrari parked up on the inside there. I think he's just maybe letting people go past. A little bit wide there into that hairpin. Doesn't cost him too much time. He gets on the power nice and early there. And heads down the main straight with his DRS open now in that Mercedes. And yeah, hopefully he can set a nice little time in there. As Icontrust still leading our qualifying. Nice and clean through the... nice and clean and calm, I would say, through that last chicane. Don't want to invalidate and throw the lap away there with a 1:10.6, putting him in P6. And yeah, Combat Wombat's time in the medium's looking very respectable there, don't you think?
Yeah, exactly. And he had a lot of time to gain there. There are a couple of twitchy moments there for Combat Wombat, so he might be thinking he can, do a faster lap on those mediums.
I think he's sitting pretty happy there. Yeah, it's pretty close at the top there between Scotty and Tinsel, man. Eye contrast out there with quite a large gap. We haven't obviously seen Kavudi. He's pretty quick, and Plevs with and obviously Oz Formula, I mean, he's not taking part, and Crazy Kiwi and Kickbutt Kiwi out with a time yet. So
I believe Eye Contrast is about to start a lap. If we wanted to jump over to that,
let's see if he's
could be wrong. Oh no, maybe not.
Leading up to, he's got the fastest. He's wants to go even quicker, and yeah, let's ride on board with Eye Contrast here. And as he heads down into turn 1 with his DRS wide open, braking down roughly 100 meters, throwing it in. He's holding a nice apex there, gets a turnaround down into first gear, short shift up to second and then third, and then this little tricky chicane of turns 3 and 4. Rides over the curb nicely. Good change of direction as he goes down the hill through there, as this finishes off sector 1. Down into third gear, getting right up on that curb. Quick turnaround there. Powered down really nicely. No wheel spin at all. And as he heads down this short straight into turn 6, 8 and 9 even. Rides the curbs again nicely. I think he's got that car set up very well for the curbs. As he heads down into the hairpin, little car ahead, hopefully it'll get out of the way. He might even get lucky with a toe down the straight.
Yeah, he might be getting a bit of slipstream here.
So this will be a decent run for him. I don't think he's gone purple at all yet, so see how this lap plays out. He might be getting a little bit of that slipstream. I think our car's just a little bit too far ahead of him. Oh, taking very much a lot of speed into that champ. Getting close to the wall of champions, and goes about 3 or 4 tenths quicker than his previous time, sitting at 1:09.1 pretty much.
They're a whole second clear of Scotty in second place.
Yeah.
Formula has been quick in the last couple of races, so he'll be. Our contrast will be feeling good that he doesn't have to worry about that, at least at the start of the race. And
Yeah, so he's going to have a busy weekend, well, busy race ahead of him, making all the positions. I reckon we'll see a few safety cars throughout the race, with the walls being so close. Wall of Champions, not much runoff as well, and there's some of those tricky curbs as well to deal with. Let's see how it's with players finishing off his lap, but Contrast looking so confident into that last chicane there, and I'm not surprised he's a good second ahead of everyone else there. Plebs jumping into P2 on his first run, 7/10 shy of Eye Contrast. He's looking like the man to beat at the moment. Kavudi also dropping it just behind Plebs there with a 107.8. So yeah, those boys will start wanting to, quite a few of them in the pits there, just maybe getting ready, looking at where they're losing time, and wanting to head out. Here's old Delayed. He races with you, I believe, in Tier 3. I'm like,
absolutely right. That's right. Delayed. Took me about 2 seasons to figure out how to say his name, but eventually we got there. Good friend of old mate James Cruz as well, I think. So I'm sure they'll be chatting to each other and getting nice and upset if anybody cuts them off. Oh, I'm just kidding.
James Cruz is not in today's
No, he's
race.
not in today. There you go. So he might be dropping from that 3rd position in the standings. So there you go.
It's 4th. I'll correct you to the 4th.
Fourth.
On the
There you
4th,
go.
yeah. And he's tied in 4th. Tied in 4th and 5th. For 5th with GeForce Zach JW on 26 points. So he's going to be, probably dropping down a little bit there. This is just people letting people pass from the yellow flags. Quite a lot of cars in the pits at the moment. Here's Kiwi on a fast lap here. Let's see how it comes down the back straight.
This track's quite short, so the drivers can leave it quite late for their last run, or even last 2 runs. They can probably do a very quick 2 runs from here, and that would be okay. But there's a lot of options when the track's this short.
Yeah, they can put quite a lot of runs as well, and it'll be interesting to see what strategy. I wonder if anybody can tell us what the weather is like during the race. Anybody at some point? Oh, there's people sitting in there in the pits. They're not really.
Yeah,
Mr. Ferrari Pro's in the chat. He's in the chat. Come on, Ferrari. We'd love to know what kind of weather we have in the race, seeing as you're not just chilling out in the pits there. And your time is very good there in the P5, just so close to Scotty. I wonder if you can sneak in an extra 10th there, or even less than that, and just pip him there. But yeah, so there are quite a lot of drivers in the pits there, waiting, and the Crazy Kiwi there pops into 8th position, ahead of Alex Pato, and slowly Combat Wombat on the medium tyres is dropping down. Well, it'll be interesting to see if E decides to just stick with that medium tyre or move it over to the softs, because everybody's on the softs.
That's right. There's a few different strategies that we could see here. Starting on the mediums definitely could be a strategic advantage to do that first stint and be able to stay out a bit longer. A 1-stop is possible, but don't be surprised if there are some safety cars and drivers switching to a 2-stop.
Yeah, definitely. You could try and stretch that soft medium, pretty difficult. Maybe the soft hard, or 2-stop. But I think we'll be seeing a few safety cars in this race, and that'll probably put paid to all those thoughts of doing a 1-stop. So a bit of slow movement from down the race there. I think it's just getting ready for another lap. And Alex Pato there jumping in 2nd place whilst we were chatting away there. Pippin Plebs by a couple of tenths, and it's getting pretty close there in the top 5. But just down from there, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, it is just a couple of tenths between those guys. And they've got a lot of drivers in the 1-minute 10s.
That's right, 10 drivers over that 1 second mark there. So, in that 1 second gap.
Kickpot Kiwi hasn't even done a lap yet, and neither has Noah, so we'll stick on board with Noah here as he comes around the back straight and see how he goes on his first flying lap. Kickpot Kiwi obviously there, having confidence in his abilities to leave it pretty late. He could still probably get 2 runs in there, but yeah. Yo, Ferrari Pro in the chat there. What's the weather like in the race?
Or Tinsel Winsel.
Yeah,
Let us know.
So, yeah.
What are we looking at? Looks like Noah might have just invalidated.
He hasn't gone red,
No,
so I think he's good.
Still...
That was the corner right there. He just cut that corner, turn 3 apex, just a little bit too much. It's so tricky. You want to carry as much speed into that corner, and it's a downhill blind apex, so it's very easy to cut that corner. So he's going to want to recharge and go again. Hopefully he's got enough fuel on board to do another lap.
Yep, you have enough ERS to be able to get through 2 flyers in a row if you do 2 flyers the whole way through, but they've got to make sure they take out 6 kilos of fuel if they want to do 2 laps, otherwise they'll be taking out the minimum, which is 5.
Yeah, so that puts him in a little all dry. Oh, that's a bit of a disappointment. We always like a bit of chaos with wet here in Canada. Always throws a spanner in the works.
Thanks for letting us know, Ferrari Pro.
Yeah. Yeah, so just putting a little bit of extra pressure on himself there by having to restart his... so here he goes again. Second try. A little bit less fuel on board, so hopefully it'll go even quicker. A little bit. Oh, he gets a bit snappy around that corner. He can still recover this. He needs to get a time on the board really as well, so he can't afford to be making too many mistakes. He might be a bit more cautious in here, yeah, a little bit, but he had to back out of that, otherwise the wall was going to say hello to him there, and yep, a little bit wide through there. He's also a bit cautious. I thought he backed out for a second there, but he's still going ahead. Oh no, he's invalidated. Yep, that'll be why I think he's backed out again. I think he'll be coming around to get into the pits, and I doubt he's got enough fuel now to go again, so he'll be wanting to get back into the pits and refuel up and go again.
It'll be very, very, very touch and go to see if he can get in and out in time. I don't think that'll quite be possible for him, given the speed of our pit stop changes in quali.
Yeah, sub 2 minute turnaround is not high contrast there, just going a slight bit quicker now, so it's going to be a bit of a fight at the top there for the top position. And Kickbot Kiwi still not coming out of the pit, so I'm not sure what's going on there, but maybe he just wants to start from the back. Or maybe he's waiting for the ideal track conditions right at the end. And he's plebs there.
The time has passed.
Validation, unfortunately for plebs. Yeah, it's so many tricky little chicanes. And it's going to be, I think, one of those races where there's going to be quite a few penalties from corner cutting and track limits. Yeah. Yes,
the track limits have been a little bit more lenient in this year's game, but mostly on on the outside of the corner. But anything where there's the opportunity to cut on the inside, it's really, really easy to let those penalties stack up.
Okay, no, Kickbutt Kiwi's out. He's on his out level. All hail the great camera angle there. All hail Kickbutt Kiwi. He's going to go in for that one-hit wonder. He obviously loves pressure, doesn't he? He loves the pressure. That's I think he must perform best when he's under pressure, because otherwise he wouldn't have left it so late. So let's see.
Well, we decided last week Noah was the sucker for punishment, but maybe Kickbutt Kiwi.
He wants that title this week, I think. Noah there managing to get a lap in, 110.6. Not too much has changed at the top here with our lap times.
Kickbutt Kiwi is still pushing this really fine. It's only got a few seconds left, and the start-finish is quite far down here.
He likes to give us a show, doesn't he? Made it across the line there.
He made it across the line by 1.5 seconds.
he might encounter some traffic as well, which would be really unfortunate.
Yeah.
And eye contrast finishing now. He's got provisional pole at the moment. I don't think anybody's going to be able to challenge him. He's just looks so confident and so strong on this track compared to everyone else. And then I think he's well, I won't say call it just yet, but he's looking very good. And Keeper Kiwi there trying to look for any kind of slipstream down the straights. Get that nicely hooked up through that chicane. As we get more
clean so far. It'll be interesting to see where this lap is put in. The only driver on the medium, so he'll have that strategic advantage.
Yeah, combat wombat opted to change out.
Obviously, there'll be some drivers outside of the top 10 with free tire
Kavudi there
choice.
pipping P2. He's made a 109.5 just in front of Alex Pato by a couple of hundreds. And then the top 5 have finished there, so it's going to be Kickbutt Kiwi who can disturb the order, if he can at all.
What can he do?
Puts it in at P12, which is, I'd say that's a pretty good lap, really, for the medium tyre. But, I don't know, maybe he was hoping he'd start a little bit high on those mediums. So as as qualifying draws to an end, we've got Eye Contrast looking very comfortable in P1 there. Kavudi half a second clear in P2 with Alex Pato just behind him by a couple of hundreds. We've got Plevs in 4th and F1 Ferrari Pro rounding up the top 5. Combat Wombat opting to change onto the soft tyre there right at the last minute with a 109.8, and Crazy Kiwi just following him behind him. And then you've got the Tinsel Man 25 with a 109.8. 3 drivers there in the 109.8s. Scotty in P9, our race winner from last weekend, and Chronic Saints rounding off the top 10.
Scotty will have some work to do from P9 there. I believe that might be one of his lower starts so far this season, but there's plenty of race to make up those positions with this full-length endurance race.
Yes, so delayed in 11th, Kickbutt Kiwi 12th, Albino Josh in 13th, Noah in 14th, Dan the Racer 15th, Honest Crook in the Alpine 16th, Anthro in 17th, Twitch Liddy 18th, Snickers Bud in 19th, and Oz Formula, who did not take part in qualifying, in 20th. So he is going to have a fun race ahead of him, trying to overtake everyone.
Yes, we'll have to keep an eye on Oz Formula at the start of this race because he will have some serious pace at the back. We'll see what he decides to do with that tyre strategy.
Well,
but
indeed.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him on softs at the start to try and pip some of the others.
That would provide for some entertainment for us watching, definitely.
Absolutely. And here's hoping we can get through to we can have a race start for the first time. Every time so far it's been on the third go, but
let's
maybe we'll be able to beat that today.
Yeah, let's go for a first try start. That would be excellent if we could get this going, because we have had, if you guys have tuned in before, we have had issues every single race start with lobby restarts and desyncs and every possible glitch that Cody's can throw at us. But yeah, so we'll really hope for a clean getaway to this race. And everyone just double checking their setups and fuel loads. You know, I think with a dry race as well, you'll be wanting to look at underfueling that car, especially considering VSCs and safety cars are a very high chance here.
Right, it's a bit of a gamble. Obviously, you can underfuel quite a lot if there are safety cars, but if you do that and then there are no safety cars, you're going to be, really having to lift off on that main straight to try and make up all of that fuel back. But yeah. Given the chance of safety cars, you'd assume that a lot of the drivers will be underfueling for this race.
Just coasting around. Yep. Let's see what tyres everybody is on. So Kickbutt Kiwi there, and Honest Crook, the only people on the mediums, and Dan the Racer, the only person on the hards. Everybody else choosing to go for the soft. So we'll get a quick grid rundown again with Eye Contrast there in P1 on the left-hand side of the grid. Kavudi in P2 on the right hand side at the front row. Alex Pato and Plevs rounding off the second row, with Ferrari Pro and Combat Wombat side by side in the 6th row, a Ferrari powered 3rd row, sorry. Crazy Kiwi in P7, the Tinsel Man in P8, Scotty P9, and Chronic Saints rounding off the top 10. Delayed in 11th, Kickbutt Kiwi, the first of the medium runners, P12, Albino Josh on the soft tyre, P13th, Noah, P14th, Mr. Sucker for Punishment, that's his new nickname. Dan the Racer, the only man on the hard tyres, he's going to have a fun start ahead of him. Honest Crook choosing to go for the mediums. Anthro, P17 on the soft tyres, Twitch Liddy also on the softs, and Snickers Bud and Oz Formula rounding off the grid on the soft tyres, a Ferrari powered back row.
We've got a prediction from the comments. Buster216 predicts Oz Formula top 10 and the Panthers to smash the Eels. I wish I knew what sport that was, but as a Melbourne person, I'm just going to pretend I know.
Let's hypothesize as to what sport that is. Do you reckon it's local or American?
Oh, true. Oh, that does sound a bit American, doesn't it? We don't really have Panthers in Australia. Yeah, I'm going to guess that that's American, and I'm going to Google it right now. And then we're going to miss the start because this is very... Oh, no, National Rugby League. NRL.
There you go. There you go. I do not watch the rugby.
Oh,
I only watch...
Penrith Panthers, right? That would make sense. I'm guessing. Yeah, no, Penrith Panthers, Parramatta Eels. Yeah. Anyway.
Right. But now it's Formula One time. 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. Uh-oh.
Ooh, we got a jump start.
Drive-through. Is that 2 jump starts?
I have a
hopefully that
feeling.
wasn't a glitch, but Plev's getting a great start, obviously jumping it round to the outside, and Alex Pater there holding onto P4 round the outside. And as we see, yeah, there's 2 jump starts there from the Ferrari and Plevs. I think they just, you know, went a bit early there, and everyone piles through the second chicane very cleanly. No incidents at all as Ferrari there tries to go down the inside of the Red Bull and makes it, I think the Red Bull just going wide there. He's dropping a lot of positions. And we see almost 4 cars wide there coming down the second straight. There's a total jostling for position going on here. Alex Pater being the biggest loser out of all that in the Red Bull, just not getting that start together and being forced out wide, and he's dropped a few positions. You kind of tend to lose maybe a few more. And a Combat Wombat there just ahead, having a little look into the hairpin as Ferrari there defends the inside of the hairpin, and he gets away nicely there onto the straight.
Right, so Plevs and Ferrari Pro will have to take a drive-through penalty within the next 3 laps. So we'll see if they come straight in. That looked like a Ferrari bouncing off the wall.
Yes, they've come straight into the pits there straight away on the first lap, trying to minimise that damage while everyone's fighting. I see a bit of car flying off there, and a sideways car also around the wall of champions.
Looks like Honest Crook has had a... Oh no, he's just come into the pits. All good.
He must have had some damage or something. I think they're changing a front wing out.
Changing a wing. Missing that left front end plate.
So really, they look pretty clean into turns 1 and 2, and then as the pack just got bunched out and edged out, it was, you know, a bit more jockeying for position around the rest of the lap. And we see another move here around, looking around the outside is Kickbutt Kiwi, and he gets the job done on Oz Formula there. They're still side by side coming down now into turn 8. He's given the right squeeze. And Oz Formula taking to the runoff over there. Hopefully back doesn't get a warning for that. That was good defending there from Kickbutt Kiwi. He's lost another place now to Noah, taking advantage of that. And Oz Formula there looking to make a position back from Noah, going down the inside. And as they come side by side out of the hairpin at turn 10. And it's going to be a bit of a Noah there wanting to... He needs to get into that slipstream there to keep that position. He's getting a good run down there. Kickbutt Kiwi going defensive into the last chicane. He's holding on to that position there. Eye contrast setting fastest. Oh, he gets a great exit. Does Oz Formula.
Great exit, yeah. And he's gonna, his inside here will turn to the outside, which should work okay for the traction.
I think he's got enough of an overpass there to keep that position there. Good fights going on here. He's made 10 positions on the start, has Oz Formula. He's done an absolute cracking job on the start. And as we were watching the front pack, it would have been a shame we don't have replay cam to watch the back guys fighting. As Crazy Kiwi in the pits and Ferrari Pro again. So what happened there with those guys at the back as we've been following this battle? But this battle is continuing down here as Oz Formula looks down.
Crash.
Oh, he gave it a bit of a touch there. He passed it back out again. Those boys getting really... Oh, it's so close between the two, managing not touch. Put Kiwi holding the inside. Noah's gone around the outside, which has allowed Oz Formula to dive down. But he's got a really good exit, has Noah. And they are side by side now coming onto this straight. But Oz Formula has the slipstream, and he's got I think Kickbutt Kiwi is backed out of that a little bit and choosing to just pull back into the slipstream. Also, Ambino Josh joining the back of the pack there. Noah there picking up time penalty for corner cutting the first one already, which is not a good sign. And there's a car going very slow there on the inside. Are we getting lapped cars already? That's very high potential of that, which is just a short track. Oz Formula all over the back of Noah. And as Noah's dropped off the back, we've got DRS now as well. So this move is going to be pretty easy with DRS, I think, for Oz Formula, because he's going to be pushing hard. There, the front has been the top 3 there just unchanged throughout the start. They've held their positions pretty well, and you see Oz Formula now moving down the inside. Noah conceding the position, but he's now going to get DRS on them. Whoa! Whoa! The double, triple tank slapper. Held the first one and the second, but not the third one. And he's lost his front wing. That's going to put him out of contention for a while now. That's, again, Mr. making his weekend as hard as possible for himself. But I'm sure he'll come back in the end there.
Yeah, well, at least he's going to be able to continue with this race because that was a pretty big crash to only lose the wing. So
yeah, he got pretty lucky there. Looking at Snickersbud here, making a move on the Red Bull of Twitch Liddy. Gets it done. Oh, he holds the outside there, giving no choice for Twitch just to take to the escape road there. You reckon Plebs is going to take top 5? Well, he's got a big race ahead of him to make all those positions. Oh no, I know. He just loves making his life as difficult as possible for himself.
It looks like Combat Wombat has also had some issues because he's down in the pits as well.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of early pitters. They might choose to change onto some harder compounds, which they have done. Down the race has had a decent start there, and he's holding onto that hard tyre. And yeah, there's a good pack going on here for 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. The 2 Mercedes and the 2 Alpha Tauris being led by a Red Bull. And Combat Wombat there picking up a time penalty for, again. Contrast not checking out at the top there. Corey Pace was on point, but maybe Race Pace and Kavudi there is matching him. Alex Pato is unfortunately not keeping up with that, and I think he's maybe being a cork in the bottle for these guys, all stuck up behind him. He may have a little bit of damage, maybe. We can see a decent off-board shot. His front wing looks intact, so maybe he just doesn't quite have those pace on the soft tyre.
Well, it looks like Chronic Saint has gotten past Tinselman in that battle for 3rd position. That would have been a tough move to stick with all of the cars. Oh, looks someone was a bit twitchy out there. Was that delayed, I believe?
There's those 2 guys. Yeah, they've just let...
And there goes Chronic Saint.
I was going to say that Mercedes just disappeared in the foreground there. It's got it going, which is good. I think his front left looks okay, but the right... Oh, this is not good. He needs to get that car turned around AS. Oh, this is the 5-point turn of nightmares. He's ghosting. He should just get that car turned out as quick as possible. Okay, so otherwise he goes. Yeah, I think he's going to cop some serious wing damage there. Oh yeah, we'll keep a close eye on Ozformula and Plebs as they battle to get through. And we see Scotty making a move on the Tinselman down into turn 1. Gets that job done nice and easily there, and after all that fighting they've let Alex and the Red Bull get away. Yeah, I'm surprised there has not been a safety car. No one's DNF'd, which is fantastic to see. We are 10th of the way through the race and all 20 cars are still running, which is excellent to see.
It's a big improvement over the last few races.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, Plebs and Ozformula, they're really strong, and Ozformula coming into the pits again. It was quite a 20, might have even been more 23-point turn going around there. I like the old spin turn myself. Does overheat those rear tyres, but at that point you just do a Sebastian Vettel, do a burnout and get that car turned around. Tinselman still looking at Scotty here. He's not giving that position away. He's going to want that back. But
both of them would love to catch up to Alex, but they've got some serious space going into there.
Yeah, down the inside into the World Champions. Yes.
And he'll get that DRS in the exit too, as it's a double DRS zone, so you can, once you get past before the Wall of Champions, it's very easy to keep that.
I'll just bear with me for a second. I'll just let Josh take over for a moment.
No problem. Alright, so we are looking at the Tinselman. He's trying to make up some position to Alex Pato in 3rd. Looks like we have a yellow flag. That might be Albino Josh might have had a spin on turn 2 by the look of it from the map. Do apologise, we won't be able to change camera angles just while Black Moon is away from his computer. So this is what we've got. So this is what we'll talk about. We've got another yellow flag in the 1st sector. quite tell who that is. That might have just been a car coming out of the pits, I believe, potentially coming off into traffic. So Scotty's got DRS again behind the Tinsel Man. Let's see what he can do going down this main straight. He's using as much of that slipstream as he can before he sticks his nose out to the side. They're going to go side by side through the Wall of Champions.
Not quite.
And it looks like...
That'll be a dangerous big balls move, that would be, if they were to do that. Yeah, they're just costing themselves time here. They should, you know, they're letting Alex get away. I think they've got the pace to stay with the front guys, but they're just squabbling for that position there, which is race smart. Race smart, bit of race, yeah, smart racing there. Not to be found between these guys, but they're racers. They just want to get in front of each other, which is totally understandable. We've got a Albino Josh coming into the pits down.
Yeah, I believe he had a spin at turn 1, so he might have had something damage there.
Yeah. So yeah, this will follow this pack here. They seem to have settled a little bit more. Not quite. Nope. D-Led's all over the back of the Tinsel Man. And yeah, he's going to look again coming down the straight. But I wonder if
tough to get past, as they both have DRS, of course.
Yeah, might turn into a bit of a DRS train here. As the pack starts to sort of just settle down into a bit of a race rhythm. Apart from these boys, they're hitting each other hard. There's going to be a late move. And Tinsel Man there conceding there rather than trying to go side by side into that, because that's never going to end well for either of them. Taking the smart way out. But as you can see now, they've stopped fighting a little bit. Scotty is now catching up to the back of Alex Pater, and our two-time race winner here, I think, has the pace. He's just been in the wars a little bit, and that slightly lower qualifying position has really cost him a lot. And we're seeing him move down here with Crazy Kiwi getting past down the race. He's on that hard tyre, still a little bit slower, so
but the hard tyre could definitely pay off, especially if we manage to get through this without safety cars, which might even be possible the way it's going so far.
Would you like to put some money on that?
Nope, absolutely not. If we see no DNF, well, sorry, a DNF and then no safety car, then I reckon it's possible, but we'll see.
It's an interesting camera angle from the rear diffuser there. Unfortunately, there's nobody behind him, so totally useless, Mr. Cameraman. But these guys are, yeah, this guy's pretty close here. As we see more switches.
Tinsel Man has just got past Delayed, who must have been a bit squiggly there, because he's had to go right over the Wall of Champions.
Yeah, they've now started to really pull out a bit of a gap on each other and lost that DRS here. I think we'll have a look at Oz Formula. He's on a bit of a rampage here now. It's Combat Wombat picking up some more penalties. 9 seconds already in this early in the race, and Oz Formula there making it look easy down the main straight. So he's oh, that is a car. That is Noah and the Wall of Champions. First victim of the Wall of Champions, but he gets the car going, and so we still got all 20 cars running there. I wonder if he took any damage. Oh, shut my mouth. There goes a car in the Wall of Champions and a safety car.
Safety car. Good thing I did not make that bet. Maybe could you bring up the tyres so we can see?
Yeah, I was literally about to do that until I saw these guys. So hitting the Wall of Champions.
Maybe we'll see this. We might see the soft runners pit, but other than that, probably not the best idea for the others. Still a long, long way to go.
Yeah. So well, that'll help out those boys that are a little bit out of position. And you see all the front runners coming in for tyres.
Have a feeling. Oh no, we should be right.
No 5-second penalties. So none to serve in the pits, but Kavudi choosing to go on the soft tyre, contra to everyone else on the medium tyre. I think they just want to see how long they can go, and. Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it, Combat Wombat? That Wall of Champions claiming many, many heroes over the years. Yeah, tough track. Sad to see you go.
Kick that Kiwi's decision to start in the mediums. He'll be We'll be sitting pretty in first. Obviously, we'll have those
him
older
opting not to
tyres,
pick.
but if he
Same
can
with
hold
Endurace.
anyone up, it might work well for him.
Yeah, yep. Well, I think they've got a long way to go. You could probably do quite a number of laps on those medium tyres. And
Yes, you'd be expecting about 40 laps almost.
yeah,
30
down the
to
race,
40.
just sitting pretty there in P10. Having gained quite a few positions from that safety car and from not pitting with his choice of tyre.
I'm sure he would have preferred there be no safety car, but
Oh,
works out
that's
okay for him, of course.
picking up a penalty under the safety car. That's never fun.
Oh, cutting corners in the safety car is going to be one of the most demoralising things you can do.
Drives you mad. So, yeah, Kiwi there in the lead on having not pitted on the medium tyre. High contrast P2, Kavudi P3, much unchanged in the top. Scotty there now taking that P4 position. Alex Pato, I wonder what happened to him, and they must have lost a bit of time in the pit stop because he's dropped down the order a little bit on, and Tinselman also getting past him. Delayed late is looking for a pretty strong finish here with the AlphaTauri crew, and same with the McLarens. Crazy Kiwi in 8th, Plevs in 9th on those fresh mediums. Dan the Racer rounding off the P10 on the hard tyre, having not pitted also. Oz Formula getting 9 positions from where he started on those semi-fresh medium tyres. Honest Crook P12, Snickers Bud at 13th, Twitch Liddy in 14th, Chronic Saints 15th, Anthro 16th, Albino Joe 17th, F1 Ferrari Poe in 18th, and Noah, Mr. Sucker for Punishment, in P19. He's going to hopefully catch up to the back of that safety car, and he's on fresh soft, so he's going to want to really make some positions on that restart. Combat Wombat, obviously our first retiree this evening.
Kickback Kiwi will be hoping that with Kavudi in third on those softs, that he might be pressuring high contrast, enough to stop him from trying to get past Kickback right at the start. But not sure that's going to work out too well. But we'll see what happens. He had some pace in quali on those mediums, so we'll see.
And they definitely seemed evenly matched on that first stint on the soft tyre, so I think high contrast will have a bit of a job keeping him behind safety car in this.
Wow, that's quick. All right.
No, I'm confused. Why is it saying this lap when
maybe
it must mean the next
this lap?
Which hasn't started yet, and it's starting
Yes, that is
now. This lap, lap 14. Yeah, well,
bring up the penalties, and so we can have a quick look at what's going on in the back there.
Yeah, there's it's
all threes, easy.
Yeah. Couple at the front, but in the mid pack there, what's going on here? There's some position.
Oh, I've got a 5-second penalty. Drivers have got to make sure they keep their distance between each other. Any touch under the safety car will be an immediate 5-second penalty.
If he's taken any damage from that, the wing looks fairly intact. I'm not sure if that quite see if one of those end plates has suffered a bit of damage, but that's not what you want there. The safety car and the safety car incident. So what will happen with those two guys there?
Kickback Kiwi seems to be backing up the pack quite a lot. A lot of drivers have been struggling to get temperature into their tyres, given the weather is a little bit cloudy. Probably not ideal conditions, but pretty good.
Yeah, he's going
Can't quite see on the steering wheel there where we're at. Have to get some new glasses if I wanted to read that, but hopefully he's keeping those temps in the mid-90s.
Well, yeah, we'll see when he opts to go for that restart. I think he's going to go for that in that chicane. He's going to just smash it straight out of the chicane. That's what I would do anyway. Back the pack up nicely here. Yeah, everyone weaving there, trying to get some temperatures. He's given a good gap to that safety car.
It looks like he's gone already.
It does. He's completely caught them napping.
Yeah, very smart there. Although high contrast is on it.
And the gaps have opened there up a bit. Even Kabudi lost a bit of a gap on that. It's a bit more closer down the back. Oz Formula already not quite. Has a little peak.
He'll be wanting to get past down the racer on those oldish hards.
Oh, almost loses it
to catch that. And he's still going past him.
What a move! What a move from Dan Oz Formula there. Dan Racer definitely is going to be struggling on these hard tyres on the restart. They're a lot harder to get up to temperature, and I wouldn't be surprised if he loses a couple more positions there. Honest Crook having a good look as well. Dan the Racer holding off. I'm sure he's punching out the ears to stay ahead. He's going to have a look down down onto the main straight. I'm sure. I think he's gone very deep, and Honest Crook followed him in there as well, and that'll almost allowed Snickers but there to have a look down the inside. And
positions gained from Chronic Saint and Ferrari Pro in that last hairpin there.
Looks to the inside, not quite close enough.
Eye Contrast is getting very close to the back of Kickbutt Kiwi as well. But there's a lot of position changes at the bottom. Albino Josh has just lost a few positions at the back there.
Yeah, Contrast is going to want to get past Kickbutt ASAP, because he's going to have Kavuti breathing right down his neck, as we see Delayed and Tinsel having a good fight there. Also Plebs making a move on Crazy Kiwi, just gives them enough space there as they come around the second chicane. And he's Oz Formula also having a look at Crazy Kiwi, manages to get past. Look at those boys are absolutely flying on this restart, trying to gain back as many positions as they can from their earlier misdemeanors. As we see Alex Peda make a move on the hairpin on Scotty down the inside, and I think he's going to get DRS because no, it's not activated yet. That'd be why.
We're just waiting for it, but it'll be there. Tinselman gets past Delayed.
Back passes, those guys fighting again for every little spot, and Eye Contrast very close to the back. He's going to take a look down the inside for the P1. Oh. He almost keeps his nose in there, just Kickbutt, but concedes the position eventually. Kavuti's going to want to get past him straight away, otherwise Eye Contrast will be disappearing up the road. He's going to be very frustrated behind this Alpine now.
Yes, Eye Contrast second picked a great part of the track to get past, because Kavuti's, there's a couple of corners there before Kavuti even gets an opportunity to really overtake.
Yeah,
and Kiwi's still got the DRS, so this would be a tough move. And he's not quite looking in there yet, but so he's either got this corner here or after the hairpin down the straight would be the easiest place to make this move, but Contrast is already another second up the road now.
Sticks his nose on the inside, and Kickbutt there, seeing him do that, give him a bit of space. Oh no, he loses her on the traction. Interesting, a reset there, but luckily not taking any damage, just taking the pain from the losing the positions. Does Kavuti there? It's a shame for him. Delayed there picking up a penalty. Look at these cars here, just 4 cars having a good scrap here. Plebs and Oz Formula around the back. It could get a little bit messy now with all these two very quick cars versus the other two. They're going side by side into the first chicane, just enough space. Plebs into the wall, and Oz Formula straight into the wall as he sees. Oh, he tries to take a bit of avoiding action, and he's just overcooked it and gone into that wall. I told you it was going to get messy going down there with those 4 cars. And,
yeah, I thought Formula would be able to capitalise on that Plebs being a bit twitchy on the right there and tapping that wall, but couldn't quite. And it looks like Plebs might actually have some damage from touching that wall on the right as well.
Plebs would have damage from that wall. Yep. No, he actually looked okay. His right-hand side end plate looks intact, so he must have just hit it on the tyre, on the outside of the tyre. But Kavuti there just straight back on his feet after that little mistake, and
Plebs is not going to fight that one.
He's
yeah,
gone
looks like he's going to miss the bits. He might have just had a small amount of damage on that end plate, even if it hadn't been knocked off.
Yep. Yeah, Kavuti making a good recovery from there. but obviously not ideal for him, and it's going to let iContrast just walk away with this one, I think, because Alex Pater, as he showed in that first stint and is showing again, just doesn't quite have the pace there to keep up with iContrast. And after all that, Kick Butt Kiwi there holding on to P3, as the other boys have had an absolute nightmare.
Just a couple of other things on position changes. Noah on the softs has been able to make up quite a few places down the back there. He did get a penalty during that, an extra 3 seconds, but yeah, he's been up a few places from where he restarted at the safety car.
Yeah, Kavuti there picking up another corner cutting penalty, and they're starting to add up now, the penalties. There's a few 6s and some 8s in there. Definitely have an effect on the final result of the race.
Especially if there's any late safety cars, those penalties will make a huge difference to where they might finish in the race.
Scotty getting a great last chicane run on Kickbutt Kiwi down the inside. He gets it done pretty nicely. I don't think Kickbutt's going to fight some of these guys too hard. He gets a little bit squirrely on the exit there, and he's on those slightly worn medium tyres, and he's just going to want to just keep it in there, stay in the DRS, and just hopefully get pulled along by Scotty. He's sitting very pretty there. And what else have we got going here? Chronic Saints hot on the heels of this Ferrari's in a little Ferrari sandwich with Snickers Bud and Ferrari Pro.
Looks like Honest Crook and Twitch Liddy are just having a battle. They've swapped positions twice just there, so we'll see if Honest Crook will be trying to get that move redone again.
Yeah, Plev's opting to go on to medium tyres again. I wonder what happened to Dan the Racer, if he's just fallen down the order just from those hard tyres, or if he had a mistake there, because he was a lot higher up before. Albino Josh maybe having a look.
Ooh, he's using a bit of grass there to try and get some extra width. Not always recommended.
There. Seems to get a decent exit on the car in front. Moves to the inside. Honest Crook choosing not to fight it, but they're just got a side, and he's peeled off into the pits anyway. It's Ferrari sandwich down for P9. Chronic Saints just seems to be they're just comfortably lapping behind the Ferrari. Both he does have quite a few penalties though, unfortunately for him, and I think Scotty unfortunately picking up a penalty there at the top. That's not going to do many favours. As you see a yellow flag, we've got an Alpha that has spun of delayed. You see quite a few cars going around there on those curbs. It is a tricky one, that outside curb with the wall right on the edge, and very easy to lose it around that corner. He's got very deep. Oh gosh! Very close to the wall there, getting on the marbles and just sliding across. He might have some damage as well. It does look like a bit of his wing might be. Nope, his wing looks good. But then again, we thought Plev's wing was fine, and he came in for a change. So I wonder if we're not seeing.
Yep, he's coming.
Nope, he's continued.
Oh no, I did not see that right at all. There you go. We're all getting tricked. So he might have just lit up those tyres when he had the spin and then couldn't really get the stopping power down.
Yeah, lucky to not hit the wall on that corner is very, very easy to do. Yeah, a lot of tricky traction zones on the exit of corners throughout. There's penalties coming in left, right and centre here. And yeah, like this corner here, just on that curve, they're going a little bit too wide. It's a very tricky one on the outside of that. You kind of want to lift off a bit to not hit that wall, but then, you know, get on the power as hard as possible.
Yeah, some drivers will have compromised their setups. They might be running slightly higher ride height so they can take those curves a bit more, but then obviously they're going to be losing a little bit of straight line speed for this really, really big long straight.
And Chronic Saints there going down the inside of Ferrari Pro at the hairpin, getting the move done before the straight, and these guys are going to be side by side, but Chronic is going to have the DRS advantage. He's tucked right up in the slipstream as the Ferrari, but with that DRS open, he's just pulling away nicely. As they come
Looks like
down
Albino Josh might be about to try and make a move on Twitch Liddy down for 14th place through the Wall of Champions. They're going quite close to each other.
He gets
And
the
he's got
job done.
Excellent.
The DRS there just to top it off, just to allow him to stay ahead. I saw their Ferrari Pro getting very sideways into that last chicane. I wonder how his tyres are going. He's got a little bit more worn than the other guys, but he's certainly not going to concede that position. He's going to try and fight back. Oh yeah, he's getting very very on edge on those rear tyres. They do take severe amount of punishment around this track due to the rear tyres and all those traction zones and the high speed chicanes.
He's almost out of ERS here. We're wanting to make sure he doesn't let that drop down to 0%. Obviously then you'll have no passive deployment of the ERS.
Yeah, he's really struggling on that traction. He would have been trying to hold off Chronic Saints for a number of laps there.
Yes. And now he's down to 0, so obviously he won't have anything to use until this braking zone. Just trying to put some pressure. Oh, he's got himself a penalty
too hot
there.
in there, but he's carried that speed through.
He's taking track position over penalties.
Yep. Well, they know they've got that AlphaTauri there behind them, who is not that far away. As you see Noah coming into the pits. He's just having a regular pit stop to get onto the fresh medium tyres. And I'll let Josh take over for a few moments.
No worries. All right, we are watching Alex Pato in second position. Scotty has been, trying to stay with him for a while. Looks like we're now jumping to Kavudi, the battle for fifth. Kavudi and Tinselman. He's going to stay behind on the last hairpin, so he can get a nice narrow exit, get the throttle down, and then Tinselman got an okay exit, but Kavudi's going to have this DRS here. Stay in the slipstream as long as you can, so you can try and get the move done before the Wall of Champions. Of course, you'll be compromised taking this corner from the angle, but he got enough of a gap from the car ahead that he could just pull straight in front there. So again, just letting you know that we won't be able to change camera angles whilst Black Moon... Oh no, here he is. He's still semi here.
He's semi here, but he's going to disappear for just a moment as he has had an important work call, and I'll be back in a sec.
No worries. So, looking back onto that same battle, but now from the Tinselman's point of view. So he'll be hoping to stay within the DRS of Kavudi. Kavudi's soft tyres will be still... They've got a few more laps in them, but they're probably not feeling as good as they have in the past. We'll see if... we've got a few more penalties coming there. Kavudi just got a 3-second as well as Honest Crook. We'll see if the Tinselman has a good enough run here on those medium tyres to see if he can pip Kavudi back on the next lap. Kavudi gets a great exit. He's probably deploying quite a bit of urge so he can defend, but you don't just have to defend for this corner. You've got to make sure you can stay ahead after the Wall of Champions. So we'll see here. The Tinselman's got DRS. Will he try going down the inside? Yes. Ooh. Okay, we have some ghosting there, which is lucky. Otherwise, they would have hit each other. So, not sure what was going on there, but often there isn't ghosting unless something goes wrong. But ooh, it looks like Kavudi might have just tapped that wall there. Yeah, he's lost some rotation, so I think he might have just done some damage to that front right end plate. That could have... Ooh, Tinselman just got a bit twitchy out of there a little bit early on the throttle. Or it could even be coming around that corner because of the camber. It's really easy to overturn to the right and get a little bit of oversteer. So it's quite a gentle turning movement. We'll see if Kavudi did have damage or if that was just a little bit of sync issues there. Okay, this will be the Tinselman's chance. Kavudi going out wide onto the grass and losing a little bit of traction there. Have a feeling that Kavudi's going to be coming into the pits, so he'll be staying out of the way there. Yeah. You don't want to be, if you're coming into the pits, you do not want to be right behind another car because your braking point is about 125 meters later. So you'll be losing time if you have to brake where everybody else would for that corner as it is. So as we said, we'll be stuck in this camera angle for a little bit whilst Blackburn attends to his work calls. So we will keep on watching Tinselman, and I'll try and make note of any of the other changes that have been happening across the rest of the track. So Kavuti's just come out of the pits, and he'll be looking to get past Twitch. Yeah, he's in between Albino Josh and Twitch Litty on those fresh medium tyres. It'll be interesting to see how long those medium last, and I think Kickbutt Kiwi will be the best measure of this because, obviously he has the oldest medium tyres that we have here. So whether or not they're going to push them to 35, 40 laps or come in a bit early. And also down the racer we've got there on the hard tyres. Those could probably go for about, I'm going to say you could probably push them to about 50 laps. Some of that is a bit of a guess. I haven't personally run a full 100% race at Canada before, but speculation, don't we all love it? Okay, so Plevs looks like he's just got past Anthro for P11. And that was... where did that happen? That must have happened on T1. Okay, we've also got Honest Crook coming up and down the racer at the back of the pack as well. Not sure how much that hard strategy has paid off for him at this stage, but he is with... oh, it looks like we have a crash from Noah and a full safety car. Wow. Okay, so this will be interesting here. Who diving into the pits? They only get that one set of mediums, sorry, two sets of mediums and one set of hards. So if they started on mediums and then they've gone to these mediums, they might not be in a great position unless they're planning on going hards to the end, which of course should be possible, but a bit of a stretch. Quite a stretch, but let's see who dives into the pits here. Now, again, I'm just looking on the trap map to see what I've got here. It looks like... okay, the Tinselman's staying out. Scotty and Kickbutt Kiwi have jumped into the pits. Makes sense for Kickbutt Kiwi, but Scotty, it'll be interesting to see. He's come out on his other set of fresh mediums. Kickbutt Kiwi's got softs on, so he'll be hoping to make up some extra ground after the safety car. And a couple of other pitters. Everyone else going and opting for the mediums at this stage. But yeah, quite a few drivers are opting to stay out. Delayed has come in for the hard tyre, so he'll be hoping to push that all the way to the end of the race. Ferrari Pro coming in for those softs, hoping to make up some positions, and a bit of a mix of everyone else. Let's see what Dan the Racer does. He has come in. So I have a feeling he'll probably put some mediums on and see how they fare. Alrighty. Again, I do apologise for our lack of view changing for the moment, but I have no doubt that Blackburn will be back soon. Look at all of those penalties. We've got penalties all the way from 4th till 12th. So if we had a safety car late in the picture, people could be jumping up, 5-6 positions just from being close enough to some of those people with penalties. So that could be really, really interesting. Alright, we've got an okay view of the front of the pack here, so at least that's worked out well. So thanks for staying out, Tinselman. Otherwise, we would have been stuck at the back of the pack. But I would expect the safety car to probably come in at the end of this lap. It's probably enough time for those back runners to make the time up. Now, people to watch out for at the restart here. We've got Kickbutt Kiwi on softs this time from 5th. So his strategy's worked out really well. He's made up positions from 12th to 5th so far. Really, really solid. And then also checking out Ferrari Pro. He'll be looking to make some moves, as well as Plevs down in 14th place on those softs as well. They've got some positions to potentially move up. Also keep an eye on Delayed. He is not the only driver on the hard, so he'll be struggling to get them up to temperature and to hold position. Especially, there's probably going to be some gap in front of him with a soft runner in front of him. He might be burning ERS for the first couple of laps just to see if he can hold position.
I do apologise about that, everyone. I am back now. I had a work emergency that happened.
An emergency?
And now you can fill me in on what has happened.
Well, we had a safety car. Noah crashed. So
Oh
here we
no!
are. Oh no! So I have a feeling it might be coming in this lap. So we'll see. Hasn't said yet.
Well, the front guys opted not to come in and change tyres, which is...
Yes, so there are a couple of people that didn't change. Whoa!
Whoa!
Oh, that's alright. It's alright, that's just a bit of a desync issue that makes it look like it's a lot more jittery than it is. But yeah, some people in interesting positions here. We've got softs, Ferrari Pro on softs, Plevs on softs, and delayed in 11th, also on the softs. So safety car for one more lap to catch you up.
Delayed is on the hards.
That's right, that's what I meant to say. Delayed, the only one on the hards. So that will be interesting. He'll be hoping to push those to the end of the race. A couple of people stayed out. I contrast Alex Pato, the Tinselman, Albino Josh, and Anthro. And then also Honest Crook down in 16th. He'll probably be wishing he didn't have to pit 10 laps ago, or 11 laps ago now, for those tyres. But it's quite interesting. For those runners that started on the mediums, a lot of them have gone into their second set of mediums, so it should be okay. They'll either be trying to make those softs at the end, or they wouldn't want to have to go onto that just for a smaller stint. That would be quite annoying.
Yeah, indeed. No, there's quite a few penalties as well. The big Kabudi clearly, being the guy who's amassed the most there, with 15 seconds worth of penalties. Which is
we're talking that if the safety car comes late in the race again, you could, with all of those penalties in the field, you could see drivers jumping, 5, 6, 7 positions potentially.
Indeed.
Could be a really, really interesting finish to the race, I think, with all of the maths we'll have to do. Safety car is coming in this lap, so maybe we will see I contrast and how he's going to do it, whether he's going to go early or whether he'll go after the chicane.
Back that pack right up now. So we have, an interesting technique from before. And see what he does here. He's definitely just keeping that back really bunched up so that they hopefully will squabble with each other rather than him. And even though this is a shocking laggy camera angle, I think he's gone. Is he gone? Yes,
yeah,
he is gone straight away.
Always does it. Okay.
And
looks like Scotty's close to the Tinsel Man.
Everyone seems to be making it through the wall of champions. It's a big gap from down to the front, down to the back of the pack. They're really stretched out, and Delayed is holding people up on the hard tyre. You can see a gap already opened up. That
Ferrari Pro actually already. Oh no, Ferrari Pro was already there. I bet.
Right on the Kavudi making a move down the inside.
Another penalty.
Yeah, I think he cut that corner as he got past. The Ferrari also looking around the outside. He's going to make a little jump down the inside of this.
Yeah, but
gets the job done on those soft tyres. And that's allowed Delayed right up onto the back with Chronic Saints also right behind him. He's going to try for a move, I think, down the inside here.
That's it.
He's going
Delayed will want to get past this car because Albino Josh could.
He's tagged the front of him and he's gone around.
Just a yellow flag. Oh, wow.
Merc has gone wide as well.
Oh, make sure they leave enough room. Oh, there's a bit of contact there in the rear.
Its connection might not be as stable. And then they've gone through. Both of them have gone through there. Plev's trying to hold on to that position. A bit risky down here. They both give each other racing room, but they both end up cutting the corner. And Plev's right on the back of Chronic Saints. Now down into turn 1, finding that side by side as they go through the first corner. Plev's getting a little bit argy-bargy there as he pushes his way through there, but he gets the job done. Just a bit of light wheel banging. Nothing out of the... nothing too over the top.
I do wonder what happened there with Albino Josh, whether he
moved across,
pulled across into Delayed and might have thought he had a car, enough of a gap, but just the edge of that wing touching him and spinning him around.
Tiny bit of desync or lag at play there as well, as we see a few of those cars just wobbling around a little bit. It's always a problem with this super stable connection. And Kickbutt Kiwi on those soft tyres going to take full advantage and try and get past Tinsel on the very old worn mediums.
So now I think the really interesting thing will be Scotty. He's kind of, yeah, I think he's only got 3 seconds of penalties if I'm right, and he's really worked his way back into this race, starting down in ninth, I believe, 8th or 9th, and yeah, he's got the fresher tyres, so he might be able to push up, and he'll be hoping to push up and take the lead from those drivers on the with the slightly more used tyres.
Uh-oh, that's a Ferrari down in turn 1.
That is Ferrari Pro has DNF'd.
Won't let me jump onto the onboard,
right.
but maybe we'll catch it on this.
Just on the right
Looks like
there,
he's gone straight
it into the wall.
into the first chicane.
But no safety car, so that's good news.
See a huge pack of cars finding it 3 wide either side of the Mercedes of Chronic Saints. And also Twitch, what's happened to Chronic Saints? He's had an absolute nightmare of a corner, losing 3 positions there. And also, maybe there was an illegal overtake there, and it looks like down the race was giving the position back to somebody. These boys in a...
He's getting it back, and now he can take it back.
See them fighting ahead, just ahead of a big DRS train here. Down the race, looking for a move. Not quite close enough through here. Chronic Saints diving into the pit lane. I think he might have had damage from that
as well.
Yeah, they might have had damage from that little skirmish. The racer right on the back of Twitch Liddy, and he's on the back of Snickersbud. Very close to the top there. Alex Pato's managed to keep up with eye contrast this time around. So he's doing a really good job at that.
Surprised we're not seeing Scotty make up that ground with those fresher tyres.
Yeah, they've got some pace, those guys out in front there.
Cool, looks like we've got Ferrari Pro in the chat. Ferrari Pro, if you're there, what happened? We saw your car banged up at the end of turn 1, but we did not see exactly what happened there. So let us know if you're still there.
If you're not too shaken up from your accident. Yeah, these 2 boys, they're going along quite nicely. Alex Pato having picked up the pace. That eye contrast has really dropped off the pace now on those older tyres. I haven't seen them this close all race. And Scotty just sitting at the back there. Just he has made a bit of a gap now on those guys.
Now we see only 3 drivers left with no penalties. Eye contrast, Alex Pato, and Plefs.
Plev's showing he has pace on those soft tyres, saying the fastest lap of the race so far. He's got Crazy Kiwi just up ahead of him on comparatively the same worn mediums. These two guys who just pitted on for the softs still having a go at each other. Tried to have a look down turn 1, but not quite finding the opportunity there. Chronic Saints gets a good run down into that first chicane. He gets very close to that wall.
Ferrari Pro says that he lost his wing at the exit of the chicane, and then lost his braking point into turn 1. So hopefully he can come back even better next week. Bad luck, Ferrari Pro. You made through what would be a normal league race. You did those 35 laps. So that would have been enough to finish normally, but here we are in Endurance, where you have to last twice as long.
It's twice as hard, twice as long, twice as hard.
I reckon it gets harder as soon as you get past that halfway mark.
I think there's enough talk about long and hardness now. I think that's... yes, the gap has closed up at the front, back on track.
Very much.
Yeah, Scotty is just suddenly come right at these guys. Maybe he was just biding his time a little bit there. And also Alex has got right into the back of eye contrast. I wonder if they've got comparatively the same levels of Earth, so they're still really close here. And then Scotty's needs to get ahead as well by I think about 3 seconds. Yep. Due to his penalty, so he's going to want to. But Kiwi on the soft tyres also is just behind these guys, so the gap is starting to, it's starting to tighten back up here. And Kabuti's looking at a move on Tinselman here. Goes down to the inside. Tinsel not defending that, and Kabuti nice and simple there. Overtake, nicely done. Yes, complacency and cockiness will be the undoing of us all. Crazy Kiwi there, also on the back of Plevs. Yeah, good one, Ferrari. Well, I'm sure you're going to come back twice as hard next time. We look forward to seeing you again. But yes, this front battle is definitely starting to spice up the hill. As we just see a position
Kiwi
change.
is just caught up on the softs too, so that makes me think I contrast in Alex Pato with those 26 lap old mediums, starting to lose a little bit of pace to the people behind. So if they can hold them up, it'll really, really advantage them. But if not, we'll see how that turns out later.
Yeah, I'm sure we're gonna see a lovely battle unfold here as well. But they're just gonna. That is an interesting camera. I've not seen that one before.
Yeah.
Shame we can't just turn that camera around so it's forwards. But yep. Hopefully these guys don't trip over each other like before when there was those two slower guys on those worn tyres and get the job done nice and cleanly.
Scotty might be trying.
Not
Nope.
quite. He had a little look,
that.
but yeah, not quite getting enough of an overlap. I think he's going to wait for a cleaner move. Sensible. Kavudi picking up more penalties.
Looks like Dan the Racer's caught up to the. I'm sorry, Delayed's caught up to the back of Dan the Racer's on those hard tyres. He's the only driver on the track who will be able to continue to the end. Of course, it'll be a bit of a stretch, but seems doable. But everybody else still definitely need to be